What is going on, guys? Joe Potch here, and today I'm going to be telling you about Twilight Sedation and my wisdom tooth story. It's going to be about the normal length of a story time. So this is another story time video about my experience getting my wisdom teeth taken out and why I had to do Twilight Sedation and why Twilight Sedation is like the coolest thing ever. So I had to get my wisdom teeth out February 12th or 13th, somewhere in that area. And everyone has to get their wisdom teeth out at some point. If you don't, it can cause teeth and jaw problems and whatnot. So I had to get my wisdom teeth out. Now, if your wisdom teeth growing correctly, you don't have to get them taken out. But if, like most people, if they don't grow in correctly, you do have to get them taken out. So I had to get mine taken out, and I had 4 to get taken out. 2 up here, 2 down here. I wasn't one of the lucky people that just had 2 to get taken out. Like, I only had 2. I had 4. So, you know, my story, we drove up, it's by Kroger and Avon. I don't know if many people in Indiana that live near Avon, Danville, Plainfield, Brownsburg, Greenwood know the area, but I'm just trying to tell you where it is. But it's on US 36 up near the McDonald's Kroger, and it's a little specialist dental place. So I went in there. That's where I got my surgery, and we filled out some paperwork. We eventually got told by the doctor to come on back, and it was pretty nerve-wracking, not because of the surgery, but because of it was my first time in my life ever getting put under. Now in Twilight, the difference between Twilight Sedation and normal anesthesia is when you're given general anesthesia, you are completely knocked out. You don't remember anything from the surgery. You're not responsive. You were just out cold. With Twilight Sedation, it's the same thing with like amnesia, that you don't remember anything too. I mean, when you're unconscious, you naturally don't remember anything usually. But with Twilight Sedation, you don't remember anything, but you're kind of aware. So like, they can ask you something, they can tell you things, you can respond, but you just won't remember anything that happened. You won't remember talking to them, you won't remember moving your head, you won't remember opening your mouth more. You won't remember anything, but you're fully conscious, which is kind of weird, hard to explain, but yeah. So I went in, and you sit on like a normal dentist chair, chair, like they can recline, they can lift up and down vertically, and they can recline you and whatnot, just like when you get your teeth cleaned or cavities filled, those just chairs that you sit on, and when they lean you back, it's just one of those. It was kind of a tan chair, and really cold. I remember it being really cold for some reason. I don't know if that had something to do with like the surgery for like my body temperature or something, I don't know, but it was really cold, and I've never sat in a dental chair that was really cold before. But so they tell me all the things that are happening. They're going to tell me what they're doing. They're going to tell me how they're taking it. They tell me how they take it out, all the teeth, and they say that there can be major complications, which is a very extreme rarity, like infection in the brain or whatnot, or severe infection in the jaw and teeth, which he said doesn't usually never happens. It's just a possibility. He wanted to let me know. I don't remember filling out legal papers, like signing your life away. I don't remember doing any legal papers. I do remember doing the basic paperwork when you walk into the office, but I don't remember doing any paperwork once we sat down. I think it was just all smooth from there. So I sat down, and they did intravenous, which is IV. They did an IV for the medicine that would put me in the Twilight Sedation, and that's what they call it. And so I remember they pulled up a monitor. They put the IV in me, not with the medicine yet. They didn't pump the medicine through. They put an IV. They had a monitor to my right. As I was sitting on the chair, they had a monitor to my right that showed my blood pressure, my heart rate, and all things like that. So I remember watching my heart rate go up and down as they were talking. Like, I was getting nervous, then I would calm down. I was getting nervous. It would go to like, usually like my standard 60. It would go to like 80 or 100. I was getting pretty nervous, just because I didn't know what it was going to feel like going under. And I was, wasn't exactly super nervous, even though my heart rate showed that I was. I just was more like, I'm kind of excited to do this. I'm anxious because I've never been put under. So my dad asked if he could stay in the room, not because he wanted to, just to know if he could. And they said no, and he was glad because he didn't want to stay in. So he left, and they said, all right, we're going to get ready. We're going to do it. And they hooked up the medicine to the intravenous tube, and I kid you not, when as soon as he pushed on the the syringe. I kid you not. Not like a second before, a second late. As soon as his finger compressed on the syringe cap, you could feel it. The effects taking place, like instantly. And it is the weirdest feeling in the world. I don't know how to describe it. You hear people saying, I don't remember the surgery. And it sounds cliche because you hear it millions of times listening to people that have surgeries or wisdom teeth surgeries or any surgery in general. Like, I don't remember the procedure. I remember saying something and then snap and then waking up. And it literally is like that. It is the most bizarre feeling. And it's like you're sleeping, but at the same time, it's not. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I feel as if I don't exactly remember part of the surgery, but I do remember when I was out, I remember it was like literally lasted 1 second. The only memory of the surgery, if it even was, I don't know what it was, but it was just pitch black. I saw like a light move across my face and then I woke up. It was weird. So the feeling I want to try to explain to you as best I can is Twilight Sedation. It's going to be a little hard because it's weird, but it feels like physical wise, you get so relaxed. It is euphoric. Like it is as if you are like this robot that knows no stress, no pain, and this weird utopian world, and all the stress vanishes. It is the weirdest feeling in the world. Like, you feel happy and like super relaxed. Not necessarily like, oh, I'm so happy, but like just relaxed, just super relaxed, as if you were in this perfect world. It was like you've never known stress or anything. It is the coolest feeling ever. That's one way to describe it, I guess, the mentality of it. And you just get really tired. Like, it's not like a tired, it's like a good tired, not a bad, and that doesn't make any sense, but it's like, it's not like the feeling like you haven't gotten sleep in 2 days. It's like a good version of that. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's like a good tired. I don't know how to describe that, but your feeling might differ. But then the physical feeling that I do remember is like tingles on every part of your body. Like the sensation of your back being scratched. If you ever had your back scratched, just that good feeling, minus the nails, obviously, that tingle and that feeling everywhere. It was primarily my legs, my feet, my hands, my arms, my chest, and my head. Like this really good, not dizzy feeling, not nauseous feeling, but a really good lightheaded feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but, and then this full body tingles, like the sensation of like goosebumps or your back being scratched. You get that everywhere. Sorry about my hair, by the way. I just got out of the shower. You get that everywhere. These tingles, these goosebumps, this goosebump sensation, these little prickles all throughout your body. And it feels really good, to be honest. And then you're out. And I don't know if, like, they say sometimes when you're getting anesthesia or something, your eyes do this. Like, they look back and forth rapidly. I don't know if mine did that, but I do remember my vision looked like it was getting blurry. I don't remember. It wasn't scary or anything. So I remember when he was pushing on the syringe, I said, I leaned back and I got really tired and I'm like, wow, this feels weird. And that's all I remember. Out, and I was in the recovery room. And you hear people say it a lot, and you might be in doubt or you might not believe when people say that it feels like a second. But believe me, when I say it feels like a half a second passed, that is exactly what it feels like. It is the strangest thing in the world. It's kind of like sleep. If you've ever slept through a night, I mean, it's a little different because if you've slept 8 hours straight, it does feel a little long. Like your body, it's not like a second. It does feel long. But, yeah, it was crazy. I said, wow, this feels weird. Out, the weird light thing, and then I was in the recovery room. That was it. And it's crazy to think during that time that what felt like a half second to me, they were cutting me up and all this gross stuff, and I woke up in the recovery room, and it was funny. Now, you might be worried about what you're going to say, or you might be fearful that you're going to put on a show or something or embarrass yourself because of the drug, the anesthesia and whatnot, or whatever, the sedation that they make you forget, because it's primarily, I think it blocks pain, and I think it does, I'm not sure, but I think it blocks pain and you don't remember anything. So, of course something has to block pain, because even if you're conscious but you don't remember it, feeling pain, you'd probably remember that part. But it is weird. It is the craziest feeling in the world. And they said on my way they said, okay, you're all done when they stitched me up and whatnot. I'm fully aware they stood me up, and I was walking by myself. I wasn't like out of it. You know, it's weird. You're fully aware, but you don't remember it. You have complete amnesia until you regain your memory back. So you can be like, you are fully aware like I am right now, but you're not going to remember any of it. It's the craziest thing. So they stood me up and they walked me out to the recovery room, and apparently I was trying to dance. That's what they told me, that they had to have ladies like hold on to me because I was trying to dance or something. And I don't remember that at all, which is, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. But then I don't know what happened after that, but I knew I got my consciousness, my memory back. I was looking around and was laying in a recovery bed and conscious the full time. That's just when my memory came back. So I was doing stuff, I was awake, and I wasn't remembering any of it, which is weird because how do you do stuff when you're not in the awareness? Like, I'm doing things, bodily functions, and I'm not aware of it. It's weird. So I woke up and I was laying in the recovery station at the bed. I was just laying there. My dad was to my right, and I had gauze and everything, and I didn't feel really sore at all. Now, in terms of like, you see the videos when people get their wisdom teeth taken out or they're taken off anesthesia, they say stupid things or they say things that are funny. The best way I can describe it for Twilight Sedation for me was that, I mean, let me be honest, I kind of put on a show for my dad and the nurses on purpose. Like, once I regained my awareness, I was loopy, but I didn't not know what I was saying. Like, I kind of played it up a bit. You know, I was kind of pretending, because that's the typical thing. So some videos you may see on YouTube, people are playing around. I was playing around because that's the typical thing. I wasn't at all not knowing what I was saying or not having control of what I was saying. I was kind of playing it up, but just to make them laugh. But it was way easier to get me to say stuff. Like, I'm usually shy sometimes, and it was super easy to get me, like, I wouldn't say I don't have a filter, but, like, I could, how do I describe it? Like, I would say things without, like, I was a little more susceptible to saying something stupid. Like, although I wasn't saying a lot of stupid stuff, I was on purpose just to play it up. I was just playing around. I guess you could say my filter to say silly things really lowered, and I didn't care what I was really saying, if that makes sense. Like, so while I wasn't while I wasn't aware of what I was saying or have any memory of that, like the dancing part, that's true. Apparently I started dancing, and that wasn't me trying to play it up. But when I became aware, I wasn't saying things against my will, or wasn't saying things that were silly, but I was much more susceptible to doing that, if that makes sense. Like, I had a higher chance to say something silly without care or without embarrassing myself, because the drugs made me all like loopy and not even caring. So I said some silly thing. Some girl said they stole my teeth on the black market, and I said, yeah, they did that to me too, which again was me playing it up. I wasn't really unaware of what I was saying, or I wasn't really being loopy, but the drugs did make me have a higher chance of saying that type of stuff. Like, I wouldn't have cared as much if I did something stupid in public. Like, I wouldn't have cared as much. And then I got home, and I told my stepmom that I had a block of butter, which was again playing it up, which was the gauze. So went home. Recovery went well. The pain lasts about 3, 4, maybe 5 days. I think honestly the worst pain was day 2 when everything wore off. I mean, it just hurts. Pain level wise, maybe about a 6.5. I mean, it hurts pretty bad, but it's nothing that you can't manage. Everything's just swollen. You can't really chew a whole lot, and your chewing is messed up for a bit. Like, you chew weird because you don't have those teeth back there anymore. But it is a huge relief when you heal and everything's fine. What was pretty gross was that I found that they had to pull my gum flap open on this side, my left side of my mouth, to get to one of the wisdom teeth. So I was looking in the mirror one day and it came loose. Like, this whole side of my gums could pull open. It was the nastiest thing, but that's all healed up and everything. Basically just you put gauze in, you change the gauze out because you do bleed a lot. You're going to bleed a lot. That's just how it is. You're going to bleed a bit. after the surgery. So had to keep switching the gauze out because they were covered in blood. Ate really soft things, and I was so hungry by like day 2 or 3 because I had not eaten as much. I maybe ate about 1,000 calories a day, and I usually eat about 2,500 to 3,500 calories a day. So I was hungry. You know, it would just hurt, and laying down, the blood in your head would hurt, and it wasn't the worst pain I've ever felt, but it definitely was not fun. But it's not too bad. I mean, if you can handle pain, you're fine. You know, then recovery went well, and had to keep changing out the gauze. Like I said, just ate soft foods, and over time built up to eating normal things again, and that was it. I mean, it was really quick. Those days were quick, and went back to work, and everything was fine. So not too bad of an experience. That was my wisdom tooth story and my Twilight Sedation story. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, what the heck?